Hey everybody, how you doing? Oh, it's almost 8. Um, it's been one of those weeks. So how's everybody doing this week? Let's get everything ready for uh, prayer requests and stuff. So remember, with prayer requests, don't put them in until I say so, and I only accept them during the time when I say to submit prayer requests. If they come in too soon or too late, I don't. I don't take them. Whenever you put them in, be sure to put prayer requests at the beginning, and keep them simple. Please only submit them one at a time, or not one at a time, but only once. Like, don't keep hitting it over and over again to make sure I get it. I'm going to get it, or I won't. Like, putting it in multiple times is just going to be annoying. Um, yeah, and don't add anything extra. Don't put thank you or anything like that. And try to help me out with the wording. Some people, I don't know, it's just try to write it as simply as possible. I guess is the best way to put it. Um, so yeah, we'll give everyone a few minutes to get logged on before we get really started. And I know most of you don't really talk much at the beginning, so there's not a whole lot of asking questions. But yeah, it's been a rough few weeks in general, but this was unexpectedly so. Some of you may have noticed, I just posted in the group, the 151 study group, that the someone reported the Genius weight loss attunement, and Etsy took it down, and then gave a threat saying that there's more violations, they could take the store down. So I went ahead and removed, and they specifically called out anything having to do with healing and health. So I took down all of the health and healing attunements, which includes like Enochian healing, uh, the Yahweh healing or health, but mainly um, there were several Kabbalistic attunements having to do with health and healing. Most of them were Kabbalistic. I And fertility. I took down the one for fertility, and I think that's it. I think there were about 7 that I took down. So there are like several other ones like that aren't explicitly about healing. It might mention healing, but they're not like, a lot of the deities work with healing, and Raphael and some of the angels work with healing. But that's not the only thing they do, and it's not like in the name. So I haven't taken those down, but we're in the process of yeah, I mean, I could change the name. There's some things I could do, but really the answer is to get the website, a better website up, and start selling through the website as well. And I've kind of not wanted to do that because Etsy seems to work really well for me. And it would just have to be like, there's just 2 streams that I have to keep track of and everything. It would just be more work, and I just haven't wanted to do it. So, but this might be the sign that it's time to start doing that. Um, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Like right now, I'm still weighing our options. And the thing with Etsy is that in some places they say they don't like any magic or anything like that at all. And then in other places they say they do, but they still want something to change hands. Like, it's not so much that you're buying an attunement, but you would be buying the manual. So I could like just shift the language from, hey, you're buying an attunement, to you're buying a manual about an attunement. And then I just so happen to also send the attunement type thing. Um, Stuff like that. Um, Yeah, that's anyway. So that's going on, and of course the election. But it is what it is. um, all right, it's 2:05. Let's go ahead and put in your prayer requests. Sorry if I'm quiet during this time. I'm copying and pasting. I noticed that our viewership's gone down. Not that it was ever high. We had we were getting about 40 people on a regular basis, 40 or 50. Now it seems like we're kind of hovering around 30. I guess I'm boring. I never expected this to be that popular in the first place, so it's for a very niche audience. I appreciate everyone for being here. I'm sorry, Trevor, that's not a prayer. You're not asking for me to pray for anything. Not to sound heartless. I'm sorry you're in that situation, but could you rephrase? So here's the thing, guys. Like, really, people threaten suicide attempts for me on a fairly regular basis, and it's really calloused me, and it's made one of the reasons why I'm not as friendly to people as I used to be. I really resent it. So please don't come here with your suicide threats. I really hope you get help. You need to call a suicide help hotline. Um, Talk to a professional. But coming here and saying you want to end it, that's not helpful. And I'm sorry. I hope that you may be able to find a little bit of a community here, but and I do hope that can happen. But please don't. First off, don't do it, and then I don't just. Yeah, that's just not cool. I don't like them. It really puts a damper on things. All right, so let's go ahead and call that for the prayer requests. Got the lemon, got the ring. Let's take a moment, center ourselves, take a few deep breaths. Listen, all you who can hear me. The Father is mysterious, everlasting, and transcendent. The Mother is here and is all things, all that we can see and don't see. We are the holy children, and together we are who create reality and have the privilege to experience and explore creation. Let us join together now as one in prayer as we create a new world. We pray in the name of the Father, the Mother, and the holy children. Amen. Paid. Let our hearts become a holy temple and our minds a holy throne. Enter God all-powerful and dwell in the temple of our spirit. Let our thoughts be as immaculate light and our gratitude become an unconquerable power. Ge lava, ge adua ian ia iara, al exentasa a nenoromi, ge monons noan, ne sia ian, ge manan, ne axia yal, zimii, ia idan, ad feans a sia ian, a ge ga, ge ingla noan o pirt, a ge krin, noan ugeg mikals. A prayer to the Mother for divine authority and power. I will now call on the Mother for the divine authority to call on the angels. Galva, show yourself. Sink into me. Bring down the flaming temple of your seething loins upon my mighty sword. Be thou my drunken harlot. I inhabit your throne in heaven in the joy of God. Thunder, understanding underneath me. Groan the secrets of holy mysteries in my mouth, and bring forth the philosopher's stone, and become my handmaid. Galva Zamran Karbath Yol, Drixa Yalpor Sia Ian, De Ge Urep, Dax Mire, Ol Mikalze, Napta, Bol or Orospa, Babylon Ol, Zodirega, Ge Axia Yal, Imadidax, Ola Mozad, Avavago Miketh, Raka Ol, Hodo A La Iad, Deni Kiklis Yo Bukman Yokam, Adar Anoan Arkirst. She who is the end, Mother of all, pray for us. Open the eye of our heart so that we can see the secret truth of the heavens, so that we can see the face of the highest, so that we can become the most powerful. I pray that all confusion of our own power be destroyed. Open our eyes to the truth. The spirit of man magnifies the spirit of God and is the Holy Spirit. We are the creator. We create creation. I am the Lord your God. I am what I am. Galva extentasur lava lapge. Oda a ua noan. Arge monans arge. Arge uan ar laiad veawan. De a madriax. Arge arget ad aduian. Di ia iara. Arge arget noan a ia iaram. O lava tol unke. Degi Mikal Zimram Kirasab, Odo, Ge Ua Uana, Tua Veowan, Ad de Cordis, Ovaf, Agade Yad, Ad Zir Gamfai, Ge Zirdo Akaal, Ge Kaaskaan, Zivrina Yad, Gahuakma. A prayer to banish all curses and wicked spirits. United as one in prayer, we now ask for freedom from all oppression, from all curses and harmful spirits. Take a moment and feel how much you hate being oppressed by a curse or harmful spirit as I perform the banishing, and then transform the feeling into gratitude as though you are already free. I, Jareth Tempest, by my own name and by my own authority, banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Ama Tol Babylon, God Tol Disolpath, In the name of Yah Edom, the all-powerful, and Zilodarp, who stretches forth and conquers, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Ama Ad Tol Babylon Gal Tol Disalpeth. In the name of Galva, Lady of the Apocalypse and Mother of all angels and abominations, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Ama Ad Tol Babylon Gal Tol Disalpeth. I place all who are willing under my wing and my protection. I call upon the mercy of the kings of the four watchtowers, Bata Eva, king of the watchtower Exarp, Ra'agios, king of the watchtower Hakoma, Igzaheheka, king of the watchtower Nanta, and Edlaparda, king of the watchtower Bitom, to open their gates and send forth their legions, to set up a hedge of protection around everyone who is listening to my voice and who desires to be protected. Build an impenetrable fortress around us and keep us safe. Blons par de Solpath, Yolcom, Givi Patodiax, de Blons gay. Now feel your gratitude for being delivered from your oppression, and take a moment to know that you are safe and protected. Filled with divine authority and now free from the influence of all harmful spirits, I will recite the first key to unlock the heavens so that we may summon the angels of the day to do our will. Olusam Vorsk Goho Iad Baut, Lengsh Kal Zumfro, Sobra Zaol Roa Eta Naspad Gra Ta Malpir Dishol, Kaka An Thoa Zimus Ad Komoa, Ta Noblav, Zion, Soba Thil Ganop Perge Alde, Odd Verbs Obela, Gersarm Kasarm, Ohorala, Kappa Pir, Odd Zon Razig, Kap Yadna, Pila, Farms, Zerza Adna Dis Gono, Yadpil Dis Ham Ad To Soba Ipam, Louis Palmas, Dis Laholo Vep Vam, Peomal Ad Bakpa Aayi, Ta Piap Piamo, Iad Veowan, Zakare Ka Ad, Zamran Odo Kikle Ka Zorge, Labziro no Ka Mad, Heoth Ya Iada. An invocation for all the angels of Sunday. In the name of Yah Edon and Yabis, on this day of the sun, I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all the angels of Sunday, Lord Sol, the illuminator, king of all the stars, and begetter of vision. O Lord Sol, whose angels nurture and cause the herbs and the trees to bear fruit, who adorns the whole world with majesty, who banishes adversities in the darkness. Lord Sol, the embellishment of priceless things, the beauty and the majesty of pearls, gold, and all precious stones, the glory of kings and the thought of judges, I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all angels of this day, servants of Lord Sol, who is inconceivable, incomprehensible, who sees the powers of heaven and understands the splendors of Yah-Ida, I conjure you, all the angels of this Sunday, luminous spirits of Lord Sol, the candle that burns before the dark and dreadful Zilodarp. I am Jareth Tempest, and you will not disobey me, for I know who I am. I am the child of wisdom and the lover of Galva, the mother, the end of all things. I remember that I'm Gaho Akma, I am what I am. I am Yido Ego, he that sits on the holy throne. I am Yidam, the all-powerful. I conjure you by the mysterious and powerful name of the outer circumference, Horwin, by the seventh who governs the seven, head M Hiai, by the archangel of the sphere, Raphael, by the archangel of creation, Mikael, by the unspeakable name of God, Oizir, by the daughter of light, Yana, by the son of light, Damal, by the daughter of the daughter, Izad, by the son of the sun, Liba, by the archangel of the sun, Semeliel, by the rulers of the Heptarchy, King Kamara and Prince Baganol. I conjure you, King Bobogel, magnificent king of the sun, and Prince Bornogo, ruler of the hours of Venus, Governor Bonafon, ruler of the hours of Mars, Governor Bonafa, ruler of the hours of Jupiter, Governor Barigas, ruler of the hours of Mercury, Governor Buskanab, ruler of the hours of Saturn, and Governor Bablibo, ruler of the hours of Luna. And your above names and powers I conjure you, all of you angelic ministers. Grant your grace, power, virtue, wisdom, and all that we now ask. I, Jareth Tempest, do summon you all now, and charge you to obey and to serve me, my wife, my loved ones, all my friends, students, clients, and all who hear these words, and everyone who calls on you in my name, and carry us all through life in a state of playful wonder and well-being. Let love, health, abundance, prosperity, success, belonging, victory, freedom, and everlasting joy flow forever into our lives. Be with us and bring success in all the works we attempt this day, this week, and all the days of our lives. Turn back all foul fortune from us. Bring us only good fortune. Guide us where we need to be. Teach us what we need to know, and show us what we need to see. I seal this command with the word of power, Hagla. A prayer to end suffering. We cry aloud for all who weep. Those whose bodies are in torment, they are healed. Those whose thoughts are confounded, their minds find peace. Those whose lives are lamentation, they are comforted. The lonely find love, and the defaced find beauty. Where there is war, we demand peace. Where there are empty mouths, we demand a rich harvest. Where people are poor, we demand gold. Where there is wrath and torment, we demand deliverance and justice for the wicked. Where the wicked reign, we demand righteousness. We don't humbly pray for this, we demand it. Not in time, but this day. We are the holy children, and we are God. We are the mother, and we speak with the speech of God. We open our mouths, and we create heaven out of torment. We invoke all of the holy servants of God from all of the heavens to create a kingdom of love, a kingdom of peace, a kingdom of joy. We demand the kingdom of heaven this day, so that weeping is only a memory this night. Ge baha noan to disraklir, soba kinirima noan gemir, par noan kakam, soba angela noan unke, par mana noan entharze, par soba apila noan iofan, par noan blioria, a saga momans raklir, noan bliorga a tanu, noan turbs, kuien de trian samva nas pad, gefifis entharze, kuien da trian alpha bumana, gefifis las azigiar, kuien plazi noan raklir, alpha limna gefifis ad kal, kuien da tram vorfo, ad mir gefifis, zon rezig ad baut noan a Babylon, kuien Babylon, bagpa gefifis balto, ge ip zura lava noan gefifis, ip capimeo, u buskim, ge ad Romi, ne noan iad, we noan exentasa, ad ge kamlats al laugeth, ge odo butman, ad kaas madriax, get amir, ge argedko te, tol, ad nen kaad, de iad ad to madriax, de kaas lando diem blurga, lando diem tharze, lando de maz, gefifis alando de madriax, ui baskim ad raklir, pop noir, oi virk. A prayer for the dead. We now remember those who have come before us. We pray for their souls, that they find their way to the place of peace and healing in the next world. Feel your desire for your ancestors to help the lost or unhealthy dead, or anyone who has recently died. Then as we pray, turn it into gratitude, as though you've already received 1,000 blessings from your ancestor. We look back on our ancestral bloodlines and call to those ancient ones who shine with wisdom and love. We honor you, we praise you, and we pray you work in healing the dead in torment. We also pray for all in our bloodlines, that you light their walk to your home, shelter the dead in peace, and heal their hearts. We praise you, O wise ancestors. We think of you and we sing your praises. We also humbly pray you shine your wisdom and light on all of our works. Get Dorfa, get Tuloa Kinila, Ad Arget Desoiga Tuloa, Dis Loholo Miketh Ad Bliorga, Get Iat Yadrix, Nonke, Get Oikrimi Nonke, O Lava Nonke Veol, Get Kakam, Ah Gad, Get Mir, Get Lava Nonke Dorfa Told, Gad Get Tuloa, Kinila O Piret, Oi Insi de Salman, Lanza Tuloa, Get Thazi Ad Bagpe, Ol Kakam Oi Manans, Get Oikrimi Nonke, Kesoiga Tuloa, Get Angular Nonke, Ad Get Oikrimi, Gezura, Lava Nonke Loholo Miketh, all opiert getol ge concibra. A prayer for reconciliation with the world. We pray for the soul of the world and for her daughters and sons. We repent of destroying her children and despoiling her treasure and making her diminish. Open our eyes so that we can see our spirit community. Open us to hear their weeping. Open our hearts so that we can all flourish together. We pray to hear their wisdom and to act on it. Ge lava aga ka'a ad tol til pasibs ad nor. Ge mua ge perzar til. Nuromi ad irasid. Til limla ad. Olin til perzar. Odo ge ua una. De uran kafafam. Af. Zorgaga. Odo ge sokbath oiver clear. Odo ge manans. Oi ge tol kakam. Ge lava sokbath oi miketh. Ad sorte. A prayer for health. In the name of He that lives in supreme life, I invoke the She who is the end. We sing praise to your glory. I pray to you for the health of all who listen to my voice and for all of their loved ones. Let your face be friendly and shine healing on us. Repent of our death. Hearken our groans and lamentations. I call on the holy servants of the Son to deliver us from torment. Let us flourish everlasting. Ga'a dua yin. De iapil ad yabes od argetko galva. Ge oikrimi. Ge gid bustier. O lava. Ge gila a kinidiman. Kakam ge tolos disokbath. Dio bia ad moman fafen. Bob oduien. Zorge ad loholo ge. Mua ge teloak. Toatar ge ugege. Ad yofan. Ol arget atol ne. No kaad de a roar. Zon rezig. Ge mir. Trion kakam. Go ahead. A prayer for pleasure and prosperity. By the name of the highest and the name of the all-powerful, I invoke the mother of all. We sing praise to your mighty beauty and power. I call on all the holy servants of Sun, that I and all who listen and pray are lifted upon the pillar of gladness, and crown us a garland of gold, girdle us in treasure, and pour down glory and triumph upon us. Grant us a harvest of pleasure and joy. Ga'a dua yin, yada od yadan, ol argetko exentaser galva. Ge oi krimi nonke kamze terbs od, langsh. Ol arget atol de. No ka'a de a, roar na ol. Old told disolpeth de lava. Ziram farms mirka nazarth, ge momar. Ge oblak, de adkal. A tra a ge limlal, ad pampir. Bustier ad homta mir ge. Deluga, ge azigyar. De kirsahi ad mad. A prayer for love and belonging. I invoke She who is the end, Mother of the world. I pray for all of you who can hear my voice. I pray that all of you who can hear my voice is loved and has someone to love. In her powerful name, I call on all of the holy servants of the Sun to cast out your loneliness, binding it for time everlasting. And I pray that the true love of your life manifests. I pray that no scorpion separates you two. I pray that the two become one. I pray all of you find belonging among loving people. Ol argetko galva extentaser. Ol lava lapto ge disorpath. De ol bia triam bliorga. Ad brin molap. De bliorga. Ge tib mikauzo duayin. Ol arget atol nano kaad. De aurora. De arpan ge sagamomans. Donze alar lap capimeo go head. Ad o lava geveowan bliorga kada. O lava ag siatlis tiliap nonke. O pra polo. O lava lap to noan kafafam ayaf zorge olag. A prayer for justice. Highest God, measureless light, creator of all things, the just one. Bring forth justice to the government. Cast down the harlots from their throne. Lift up the servant. Give everything to the righteous, and cast down the powerful to hellfire. Crown a kingdom of justice. Yada meofes opirit, ka autofglo, yabis yadpil yo iad, oiad, yodkam balt, de nataab arpan ab Babylon par axia yal, farms anoko de luga tafglo diabaulit, arpan amicals de, dones dongang smastastotos, momar lundo diabaulit. And now for your prayer requests. For R, for power, focus, a great job, health and vitality, an increase of income, removal of financial, spiritual blocks, an increased business and magical strategy. Iad Fifis Gagil. For JG, to help them pay off all their medical expenses this month. Iad Fifis Gagil. For AS, for MS to get a new, better job as soon as possible. Iad Fifis Gagil. For WB, we pray for the irregular pain in his head, Yad Fifis Gagil. For GJC, to enhance the power of the pineal gland 10 times, Yad Fifis Gagil. For Sabrina, for SR, to continue their occult practice regularly and remove any financial blocks, Yad Fifis Gagil. For JJ, to help with their memory and concentration, Yad Fifis Gagil. For SKTV, for quick success and income for their church, for increased spiritual knowledge, for increased communication, for fast career retrieval for their wife, for rapid blessings in all things for them, financial and spiritual. Yad Fifis Gagil. For SG, for protection for themselves and their loved ones against the risk of physical threats. Yad Fifis Gagil. For SAM, for awareness of their church, increased subscribers for their channel and more traffic, consistent monetary donations, and memberships for their ministry. Yad Fifis Gagil. For AG, for a breakthrough with my love life. Yad Fifis Gagil. For PFMP, for more awareness of their store, for increased subscribers to their channel, and for more consistent large sales in their store and Etsy shop. Yad Fifis Gagil. For M, for healing their body and open roads for abundance and prosperity. Yad Fifis Gagil. For SO, for stronger occult practice and become more charismatic. Yad Fifis Gagil. For TD, for them to no longer be alone. Yad Fifis Gagil. For DD, to heal their mother's insomnia. Yad Fifis Gagil. For IN, whatever's disturbing their family's betterment to be removed permanently. Yad Fifis Gagil. For AW, for their mother's brain and mind to be restored. Yad Fifis Gagil. For DOTW, for their pay to be increased by 10 to 20%. Yad Fifis Gagil. For TTN, for healing the trauma in their broken hearts so that they gain more courage and confidence to face HF. Yad Fifis Gagil. For TZ, for T to have high level of mental focus and energy, for their daughters to be of good emotional balance, and for JT's store and products be protected, and his family be safe. Yad Fifis Gagil. For TD, for them to find a partner. Yad Fifis Gagil. For ABSI, to heal their daughter fully. Yad Fifis Gagil. And for all of the prayers that we hold in our hearts, feel the desire now for what you want, and then state what you want either out loud or in your mind, and then transform your desire to gratitude as though you've already received it. Lord, answer our prayers. Yadfi Fiskagil. We sing praises to your name. Ge Oakrimi De Ge Duaian. And now for the pathworking. Path 21, the first path of love. The path of mystical love. To understand and control the mysteries of love. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking out of your door. Imagine you begin to walk west. It is raining. You come to a creek. You follow the creek. As you follow the creek, it widens and grows until it empties into a lake. You find a boat, and you take the boat out into the still water of the lake. Eventually, the lake empties into a river. You follow the river down as you move. As you go, more rivers join, and the waters swell and flow. Finally, the river meets the sea. The great ocean spreads itself before you into infinity. The waves crash against a single solitary tower that rises from the waters into the sky. This is the angelic Watchtower of Water. It is tall and made of blue stone. Hold the image of the blue Watchtower of Water as I say. May we enter and safely pass through this blue Watchtower of Water. May we successfully traverse the first path of love, the path of mystical love. May we obtain success in this initiation, so we may understand and control the mysteries of love. We approach closer to the watchtower and we see the coral gate. Its doors closed. Before the doors is the angelic guardian, Engem. She is a beautiful female angel with small wings. She wears an emerald green robe. She holds an emerald vase containing a powerful love potion. Try and hold this image in your mind as I say, O Engem, I call to thee. Come and open for me the coral gate of the Watchtower of Water which you guard. I ask to gain entry by the threefold secret holy name, Meth Arsal Gaik. I open the gate with the key of water, Othil, Lasti Bagge, A Dorfa Goholo Gekis, Gi Au Ego, Kormeb, Ped Donse V, Vedi, Ve Kasarmi, Oali, Mop, M, Sobam Og, Kormpo Ke Reb, E Kasam, Ko Od, Ze Kis Od, Vreg Dest, Ka Pi Mari, Kis, Ka Pi Ma'a, Yonsen, Kis, Ta Lo Kla, Torga Nor, Kirasahi Od, Fa Keosaga, Bagle, Ze Re Na'i, Od Disi Od Apila, Doa Ib, Ka'a Al, Zakar Al Zamran, Obelisong Resk, El Aaf, Noor Marulap. Engem walks up to you. A light shines about her. The light shines into you, penetrating you completely as she embraces you. She says, I am the angel of water. I am the angel Engem. I am the guardian of the coral gate. Enter the Watchtower of Water. The coral gate opens. As you approach the gate, there is writing above it. It is sealed, therefore it has an end. Walk through the gate into the Watchtower of Water. The floor and walls are made of blue stone. You feel the power of the waters flowing through the stones. Joy, fear, love, anger, calm, and hate move through the stones like waves, ever changing with the tides. You feel the flow of all feelings. Something inside you wants to open and surrender to them, to open up and to receive all the rushing currents of the heart. I will repeat the threefold secret name for protection. Meth Arsel Gayik. Meth Arsel Gayik. Meth Arsel Gayik. We now come to a stairway leading up. Before it stands another angel. They are a delicate, beautiful female cherubic angel without wings. She wears a yellow robe. She holds a lily whose fragrance bestows mystical experiences. You can feel powerful energy coming from her, penetrating you and filling you. She says, I am the cherubic angel of water. I am the cherub Imted. I am the guardian of the moonstone stairway. They embrace you, and again you feel their light shine through you. They say, throughout eternity I manifest myself from earth to water within earth. Read the words written above the moonstone stairway and rise up through the Watchtower of Water. You begin to climb the 12 steps of the moonstone stairway as you read the words, joy and perseverance, whereof the greatest is perseverance. At the top of the stairs, you enter the floor of the water within water, and you see a blue stone fountain. The air is cool and damp like a cave. You see a second staircase. The words above the stairway say, the spirit that speaks to you is she that has a tower to build, a strong tower, a mighty tower. Yea, such a one has not been from the beginning. Great is the foundation thereof, for it is of iron. But greater are her walls, for they are diamond. But most great are her turrets, for they are the 7 heads that behold, judge, and gather, and they are made of truth, the spirit of eternity. Unto the laying of every stone are you made privy. For this tower you are provided. We now climb the second stairway. At the top of the stairs is another angel. They are hermaphroditic and wear a deep violet robe. You can feel love emanating from them, and they can cause love to enter the heart of any who come before them. Unafraid, approach them. They embrace you. They say, I am Nelepar, they who have their way. I am an angel of the cross of water. I bear the cross of water to air within water. The floor of air within earth water has a cool, wet breeze. You see a third stairway. Above this one is written, behold, the work is great. The labor is also equal unto it. Climb the third stairway. It is cool and dry and smells of myrrh. You now step out into the tier of fire within water. You see 2 majestic nude angels, the king of the Watchtower of Water, Ra-Agios, and the goddess of the Watchtower of Water, Ge-Av-Rois. If you identify as male, stand before the king. If you identify as female, stand before the goddess. Listen to their descriptions and try to visualize them both. Creative power flows out of them. Their nature is to make things. You sense they like to place living things into bodies. Their presence fills you with a sense of life-giving creativity, to express infinite spiritual ideas through finite forms. You feel that they can bestow the gift of healing and longevity. King Ra-Agios wears a blue crown on his head and holds a golden cup in his left hand. The goddess Ge-Rois wears a violet tiara on her head covered in blue hair. She holds a blue chalice that is inscribed with the magical word Trom in yellow letters in her right hand and a mirror in her left hand. You will now embrace the king or goddess. Feel yourself melt into them and transform into them. Again, if you are King Ra-Agios, you are a beautiful man with a blue crown and a golden cup in your left hand. And if you're the goddess Ge-Rois, you are beautiful with blue hair, a violet tiara, and hold a blue chalice that is inscribed with the magical word Tram in yellow on your right hand and a mirror in your left. Now continue to imagine that you are the king or goddess and turn towards your consort, who now faces you in the nude. Imagine you say, let the daughters of light take up their garments. Let them open the windows of their secret chambers. Show yourselves to be gods. Yea, perform that which I have already promised. Gather your vestures together, for those who are sick have need of help. You are the children of pity, and in the loins of compassion do you dwell. Come, gather up your garments, for the cankers are ripe, and the biting worm seeks to gnaw into the lily. Now smile at each other as though you are in love. Slowly move towards each other and embrace. As I say the word Hakoma, merge God, King, and Goddess of the Waters together, as you also try to hold the image of the blue stone watchtower around you. Hakoma, Hakoma, Hakoma. Continue to hold the image as I read. The works of the Spirit quicken. The doing of the flesh lead unto distraction. May I have understanding and cast away pride. May true understanding may I learn. First, to know myself, what I am, of whom I am, and to what end I am. This understanding causes no self-love, but a spiritual self-love. This understanding teaches no blasphemy. This understanding teaches no fury. May it teach me to be angry, but not wrathful. For I may be angry and not offend. But wrath is to damnation. Is God a God of justice? May I therefore a just servant. No man inherits the kingdom of eternity without he conquer in this world. No man can challenge justly a reward without he be a conqueror, or do the works of justice. Does the world not like me? It is for two causes, either for that I live well and not as a worldling, or else because my wickedness is such that the world wonders at it. If I am the first, I will rejoice. For blessed are those whom the world hates, when they laugh at my godliness. I will be sorry and grieve at their sinfulness. My garland is godliness, my breastplate is humility, and upon my back I wear patience. A light begin to build within you. It builds and builds, as do the feelings of power flowing through you. Suddenly, the light grows so bright that you are blinded. A moment passes, and you are yourself again, standing in a boat outside the angelic Watchtower of Water. Let us turn now towards the land and sail back to ourselves. A prayer for union with the divine. While we thank Kuranzam for the blessing and wonder of ourselves, may we see the truth. We pray for divine knowledge. Fill us with wisdom. Open our minds, hearts, and eyes so that we understand that we are not poor wretches, but are the holy children of the Holy Mother. Help us to understand that we are one with the Mother as she is one with the Father. As they are one, so are we all one. Ge oikrimi kuranzam lapa obela atilia. Arget ge uran veowan ge lava lap yadna. Deluga ananael. Odo ge manan monans. Ua ananan. Ar ge ipam apakama. Krip noan ne kordzis. De a ne accentazer. Deluga oma gen noan saga a accentazer. Ka pi noan a yad. No mig. Pala saga. Noan saga. The closing prayer. We praise all of you holy servants of God. We praise you, Mother of the world. We praise you, God Most High. Let us holy children go forth in love and power to speak the speech of God into creation and create a kingdom of heaven. Ge oikrimi to ne no koad de al yad. Ge oikrimi non ke exentaser. Ge oikrimi ya yada. Trion geni noromi tustax ge bliorga. Ad vohim ge komliax au laugeth. Ge de ka'a ad ka'as lundo de magiax. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the Holy Children. Ga'adua yan ya yada. A oxentaser ad anenoromi. Ha'id. All right, well, again, thank you all for being here, and that pretty much concludes the prayer service. But afterwards, I do stick around and answer any questions that you have. Someone's asking why can't we add more prayer requests right now? It's because when we started doing this, we set it up a certain way, and that's just kind of what we've stuck to. It makes things simple and easy and doesn't cause any confusion, and it allows flow. So I don't have to stop, go back over here, and look for prayer requests, and then go back. So it's just what keeps things moving. Because when we first started, if you've ever watched any of the first ones, it was real kind of herky jerky and slow, and I was looking around for stuff. And anyway, this allows it to flow. And so, if you want your prayer request in, you need to be here at 2:05 is when I start taking prayer requests for the most part. So try to be here around 2 to 2:05, and that's when you can get your prayer request in. Someone is curious what language I am speaking during the prayers. I am switching from English to Enochian, which is the angelic language that was uh, revealed to John Dee and Edward Kelly in the 15th century. And so yeah, that's the language. They came through. The language was given through what they call the 15, or not 15. Technically, there's 50 calls. They say there's 50. There's 49. One is silent or hidden, and the 19th call, you only change one word for a whole bunch of it, so it's really just 19. But anyway, there's the words that are in there kind of create what you would call a kind of a hypersigil, and then we can rearrange those words and create these. What I've done is rearrange those words and do these prayers and create the prayers, which are then sort of because the language itself is a hypersigil. These become their own like magical sigils, and which give us the magical effects that we are now hopefully going to experience. So, yeah, I think things work a lot better. Like we've kind of got the thing down. I'm not entirely happy with all of the prayers still. I still want to tinker, but for the most part, the structure will probably stay like what we have. But so does anyone else have any other questions or anything that they wanted to talk about, or for me to talk about anyway? Um, yeah, the yes, the okay. So does the attunement servitor work with any attunement? Yes, that's what it does. It works with whatever energies you have. Like if you get attunements, just not just my attunements, but you have attunements from anyone else. It'll work with any attunement you have. Um, so doesn't yeah, Reiki and Ashadi, all the other attunements that are out there, it all work with all of those, and all of the ones that I offer as well. So yeah. They're asking, do I understand the meanings of the words? Yes, I do. That's why I read them in English and then I read them in angelic so that you know what we're praying for whenever we get to the angelic words. But yeah, for those who kind of who don't know, we're talking about the attunement servitor is a specific kind of servitor that I offer. Um, and because people buy attunements, they get a bunch of attunements and they don't necessarily know when to use the right attunement. So you can just go to your attunement server and say, hey, um, send the best energy for manifesting this amount of money. And then the attunement server will start to just channel the energy and do it, whatever it needs to do to get you the money. So you need to have the attunement server and then you have to have a bunch of attunements for it to work with. But it does all the work for you once you have the attunement servitor um, going. All right. Um, that's cool. That pineal, that face of God pineal gland, that was an interesting one. Just because I didn't realize that there. I mean, obviously there's an angel with the name Peniel. That's just kind of one of those interesting little things that happened. And while I personally don't care much about the pineal gland stuff, um, it's still kind of interesting, and it was a pretty strong attunement. Who is Abraxas? Abraxas is not something that I've worked a lot with, and and my understanding is that it is sort of um, it's different in different traditions, like with everything. But main one, the people that use it, it's just like another name for like the highest divine creator. Not the because it kind of comes from like the Gnostic thought, so it's not like the demiurge, but like the actual good God. Although I have also seen it in other traditions as the name of the demiurge, so it gets confusing. Um, and it's not an area that I've done a lot of research in. That's not I've never had much interest in Gnosticism because, and when I say Gnosticism, I understand that there's a lot of different kinds of Gnosticism, and it's really inaccurate to use the term Gnosticism. But I don't necessarily know all the right terms either. But I don't like the idea that the world is the world and the physical world being a prison for that we're supposed to try to escape from. And I don't like the idea that it was created by a blind monster god who just wants to enslave us. That's not that doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't feel right with me. It doesn't. There's nothing appealing to me or life affirming in that. So that's not anything I've ever really been interested in. That's why I've never really researched it that hard. Any anything else? Is it possible to achieve balance between white arts and black arts? That's kind of old. That's like an old way of looking at things. I don't really even because I don't see things as white arts and black arts. So I mean, like people different again, different people use those in different ways. I don't see a conflict between like angels and demons, good and evil. Um, I don't think that's how things really work. And so to me, the only thing that's truly a black art is if you're doing baneful magic. And so I don't really worry too much about a balance between the two because if you only use the baneful when it's like justly called for, and um, then I don't think there's a problem. But no, I don't really. I mean, because like I don't see an issue with like angels and demons because demons aren't evil to me. Demons are just a spirit of the earth, and as spirits of the earth, they are natural, and you can work with them. And and angels are celestial beings, and they are natural, and we can work with them. So I don't see any kind of need for worry about balance between the two. It's all. I mean, you want to. In a sense, what I can almost look at as how you would need to be balanced is you don't want to get too just stuck up in the higher things. You become like um, detached from reality, and you can and other people, and you can be very judgy and stuff. So you want to definitely come back down and be grounded, and and be in touch with your body and other people and the world and life here. And you want to have that balance because you want to have both. You want to be able to go from both and live in that spectrum between the two. And yeah, that's very achievable. That's not difficult. Um, but again, if you're trying to find this balance between good and evil, there really isn't evil. There's evil's more truly more of a lack than it is a power. And it's like there's no really such a thing as cold. There's only heat and the lack of heat. So there's only good. There is no real evil. Evil can be represented in the spiritual as like not necessarily evil, but as urges almost. The spirits of those concepts tend to not be highly intelligent. They're more animalistic and they're just more like urges, in which case you just need to be able to fight off the urge. Um, so yeah, that's how I see that. What inspires me most lately? That's a complicated question because right now I feel a complete lack of inspiration. Um, Humanity has let me down once again. They keep choosing the way of fear and ignorance, and they continue to manifest a world of scarcity and tribalism, and it is very disheartening because being where I am and what I see, I can see through so much of the illusion, and people are obsessed with the illusion and they're so caught up in it. And I don't even mean like illusion and like the world is an illusion or a simulation, nothing like that. Just that it's like there's a spell. It's like when like you bring up Gnosticism, like Gnosticism is like an enchantment that has been placed on us, where um, it's these levels of control, and people. I tended to think that people wanted to be free of the control, but people don't want to be free from the control. They like being controlled. There's a lot of people who like having a boot on their neck, and they seem to be happiest when there's a boot on their neck, and they choose to have the boot on their neck constantly. And it's not just the selection; it's so many other things. Um, but yeah, what's inspiring me right now is just all of this is just like just to devote myself deeper and deeper into these mysteries, um, and to continue with the mission that I've always felt like I had, which is um, to get closer to the Godhead than others and to disseminate the rays to the people. And that's what I will continue to do. And um, that's all I know to do. So that's that, that's kind of where we're at right now. Earlier in the pathworking, it said, perseverance and joy and the greatest perseverance. Right now I'm in the perseverance, not in the joy. So what are pacts? Pacts are agreements that you make typically with demons, um, where you agree to give them something in return that they give you something. And it's usually a pretty formal thing where you map out a time frame and they're going to do such and such by this time, and then you're going to give them such and such for um, some time or whatever the agreement is. And then the version you can also do it with angels if you want it, and higher beings. It's called a covenant, but it's the same concept. You mentioned the family of light gave the companions. Are the companions from the family of light or somewhere else? Yeah, I mean, I get them from. Um, Initially, I still call the entire family of light of that day of that planet, but it is typically Galva, the mother, that gives them. So they come from her. Will you have a Black Friday sale on your Etsy shop or anything like that? So here's the thing with sales. I've only ever done one, and it was because something unexpected happened, and I don't plan. So I don't plan sales. They happen whenever um, I just decide I need it, and So yeah, no, I don't have anything planned, but I don't know. I'm not saying there won't be something this year, but at the moment, I mean, I don't have anything planned. Um, can we still do prayer requests? No, the service is over. Um, Again, you need to be here like at around 2:05 to get the prayer request in. But you can still watch if you want to start from the beginning. There's a space where you can still make your request, and it can and it gives the I give the instructions to on how to still make it work. So yeah, you don't have it does. I mean, it's nice if you're here live, but you don't have to be here live to get the effects. You can still watch, go back and watch and put your prayer request in that space. Have I worked with Barden's entities at all? I mean, yeah, and there's like a lot of overlap. He doesn't a lot like he's got the 72 angels, only he has them listed as spirits of Mercury, which is odd, um, since they are originally Hebrew and they come from the name. So, but yeah, I have people order occasionally custom initiations with those, but I don't think I've ever released those in the store because I don't think many people know what they are or would know what they are. So I don't think they would sell very well. I have not worked with them in any real depth, though. Um, so yeah, no, I his books are written in such a weird way that I've never quite really gotten into them. I tend to like what I have read, though. So I mean, I think I would like his system if I was ever able to just sit down and work through it. And I do realize a lot of it's kind of like old fashioned and there's some stuff that's not necessary, um, but yeah, no, I've worked with him, but not any kind of like level I can give real depth, like opinion on. What do I mean by create an original sigil or something to anchor the ritual into the physical world? Um, Whenever you're doing a path working, you're working. It's all here. It's like in the mental, and then therefore the astral. And if you when you do a ritual that's entirely in your head, basically, it can be helpful to create a sigil or something physical that's here in the real world, and it will help pull what you did in the mental astral space into the help pull it into the physical to manifest it in reality. Can I explain parallel lives and alternate timelines? Oh yes, I can give quick metaphors. So the way that I have seen reality, the way that in a very intense vision, what I saw is on a certain level, God, by definition, is all things, and it is all things at once, because there's no real such thing as time. And so everything happens at once, and it's all out there and like frozen in like little frozen in time, like every like nanosecond is it's its own unique reality, and it's every single thing that's possible. I'm not saying that everything is out there because there's some things that are just kind of crazy. It's not like Rick and Morty, probably, where you're going to have a reality where pizza is ordering, is eating phones. You know, that's just a little, that's outside the realm of possibility. So, but everything that is possible exists somewhere as this frozen moment. And so what happens then, and then they're kind of placed in ways so that one leads into the other, and our consciousness then moves through these frozen moments, creating the illusion of motion and time. So it's like a film strip where it's a bunch of frozen, like still images, but you move them by fast enough, and it creates the illusion of motion. And that's what our consciousness is moving through this, And so as we're moving through it, and as we're going, we create through our choices where we go in this. And so by choosing to lift this phone, I have gone into a reality where I have lifted that phone. Where I could have gone into another reality where I lifted this drink. And those are two separate realities, and they branch off, and then from those branches branch all these other branches, and it all interconnects to a level. But sometimes some things are farther away from others, and you have to go through a ways before you can get what you're trying to get, where there's the you that has what you want, or something like that. So, kind of what we're doing when we incarnate here is we're sending our consciousness down. But again, it's all happening at once. There's no real such thing as time. And so when we talk about like past lives or alternate timelines, things like that, then it's just another version. It's us at the same time, because again, there's no time, experiencing things from a different perspective somewhere else on this thing, and we're making different choices going along. And when we think of things like past lives, what that can be is we're going along, we went this way, but then like at the same time, we're also back here further in the past doing things. But it's us doing it at the same time, really. But we can't experience, as we're here, we don't experience things all at once. We experience them sequentially. And so it seems like it's a past life when really it's a concurrent life. And that is as easy as I can try to explain it. And the thing is, like, quantum physics is actually starting to kind of agree with me. Or they probably knew about it a long time ago, and I'm only starting to read about it. I don't know. Is it possible to create attunements from the Solomonic pinnacles like you created the magical riches? Yeah, Munir did it. Munir wasn't very good at attunements, but he did it. And I'm not going to do it because I'm not getting involved with pinnacles. The people that make their living selling pinnacles are very protective of that, and there's always so much drama with the people who make pinnacles, and they talk crap about each other online, and they curse each other, and it's just not worth it. I'm not stepping into that area. But yeah, it can be done. Um, does Asmodeus work well with Lilith on love and lust matters? Since I heard, I don't. I've never tried to work with Lilith and Asmodeus together on anything, so I can't. I don't know from experience. They seem. So here's the thing with like Lilith. A lot like Lilith is very much a wild, like, kind of like the wild woman. She's out in the like wilderness and is kind of very kind of protective of women. And Asmodeus is a very male spirit, and he can be pretty aggressively male. So they may butt heads, but they may also work well. It kind of I don't know. That would just, I mean, it's something you're gonna have to experiment with. I can't say for certain that they're gonna work great together. Um, but if you're a strong magician, you're gonna keep them in line. It doesn't really matter. So, um, yeah. To make servitors, I don't. Okay, so to make servitors, do you use Damon Brand's book or some other method? I use some other method. Um, so the method I use is the same method I use to create an attunement, only I do it in accords to your wishes or the customer's wishes, whoever, or of my own. In which case, it's not a servitor the way like a chaos magician would make. It's a difference. It's almost a real spirit, but it's given parameters to follow before it goes back to source. That's how I make them. I do recommend Damon's book for anyone looking to make servitors. I would also read John Creeder's book. He has several books on servitors, but they're pretty cheap. I would go ahead and I would read all of those and kind of combine the methods. That seems to have, it gave me the best. Um, um, when I was making stuff in that way, that's how I did it. And it's basically you do the same thing like in Damon Brand. You just add a longer during the conception phase after you've written the gestation phase, I guess is what he calls it. You've written the conception and you just imagine it for like a week, wandering around your place. You just imagine it being a real thing for a while, and as you just spend time with it, imagining it and giving it little orders like go over there, climb that, and just watching it do things and making it more real in your head, and you're giving it energy by interacting with it and doing stuff with it, and that will help solidify it in your mind and make it real. And then go on with the Damon Brand stuff from there. And really, I mean, if you start, I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, it's all so much of this stuff is just like it's in our minds and what we believe and what we um it's so telling that servitors like our mind can create a servitor. That's just by belief and imagination we're able to create something with that can have real effect on the world. Like I've seen um my car was overheating. I had a servitor to protect my car to keep it running, and my car started to overheat. And I called on the servitor real quick, and I literally saw the temperature drop because the temperature was going up and it was overheating. And I literally saw the temperature go back down until I guess all the energy of the servitor was burned up, and then it went back up and still overheated. But it did its best, but it actually had that real world impact of fucking cooling off an overheating car for just a few seconds. And that just did that with my mind and my imagination. That's what power our minds have, our thoughts have. And I mean, we can change the world if we just all had a unified vision and tried. We could remake the world into something beautiful. Um, Anything else? Well, I'm waiting. I don't know if how many of you have ever read the Sandman comics, but there's a little, they made it in the show. It's like an extra on the show. It's the cats. And there's this cat that has trying to get all these other cats to dream of reality where they are the dominant species and humans are like little prey animals. Because they say that a long time ago, that's what it was. And then humans collectively dreamed a dream of us being superior to cats, and it just created that reality. When it had enough people did it, it created the reality where we are the dominant life on Earth, and the cats are our pets. And so the cats are trying to do the same thing. And I do that. There's a truth to that, and I'm not saying that it works exactly like that, but there's a kernel of truth to that. And if we all were to collectively try to manifest a better world, we could do it. Absolutely. How do I interact with God and Source? Well, I do these prayers, and I do other prayers, and I so under the way I've seen everything, there's the transcendent God who's above and beyond everything that we can deal with, and you deal with him through meditation, I guess at the best is where you try to silence your mind and just meditate. And I've got a lot of, that's where I started, is meditation. I've also got a lot of little fun toys um, that play with brainwaves and can help get you in the certain brainwave states. Where you can really kind of experience, but you can't knowingly interact with the transcendent. You do it through unknowing. It's a process called unknowing, and it's a um, basically, like when you're meditating, the vast majority, I don't care how great you are as a meditator, most of the time you're still thinking. It's just a matter of kind of, you create little gaps in your thoughts, and it's in those gaps of silence that um, the transcendent comes in, and it teaches your soul in silence, and your consciousness is unaware of it, and that is the main way I interact with that highest level. I also think that, so that's the transcendent God, but there's also a manifest God, and that manifest God is here in creation and is all things, and is my body, your body, my spirit, and your spirit, our souls, everything. It's all actually part of this one deity, this one God, that source, and um, she is personified to me as that mother figure that I call Galva, or heard the name Galva was revealed. Also Exentasser. She's also a Nanael wisdom, and all things are of her and are her, and find their being in her, and in her she sustains us, creates us, and so I have a more um, she's the one I interact with and have, like, conversations with, and that's where my prayers are to, and I do a lot of, like, visualizations with her, and um, and with that, and then kind of engaging with the mother creation, like the mother goddess that way. And so you have, like, that combination of meditation and silencing your mind to be with the transcendence, and then there's almost everything else you do then at that point becomes trying to make everything else you do a prayer to the manifest God, which you can do through everything you do. You can do with intention to be in touch with the manifest deity, and that's everything from cleaning your house to having sex. It's everything. um, and it's in everyone. And if, since everyone else is God, you can interact with God by interacting with other people and how you treat people. And that's what's meant by, like, charity is not something you do just out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing it because you're helping other people who are also you, and you're helping to remember that you love yourself. So all of that is what um, how you interact with it. And my most powerful moments have been, um, I guess you would call it. It's not fully enlightened. That's not the right word for it. But I have experienced the state of enlightenment, and what I have fully felt, as not felt, but known, like, explicitly who I am, and how that affects everything. And then there's a process. Then you kind of come out of it, and it's like try to remember it and grasp it. But I've had those real moments where I did, and I could remember it, and I do remember it, and I can absolutely say that this happened, and it's as real as anything else that's ever happened in my life. And that's why, like, in the things, I know who I am, and I remember who I am. And um, how you get there through, well, the first step of that was um, a ritual we used. I did a lot of this Enochian prayers, and I did a lot of the calls, and there is, like, from there on, there was a long cleansing ritual. We did all kinds of stuff, but it was But it was a sex ritual with like there were three of us, and it was it didn't happen there, but it knocked that domino over, and real quick after that, things started happening, boom, 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 and I started to have these experiences as so it's like you need. I'm not saying you have to do what I did, but there are. You just need to make certain. Like I don't know. It was almost like it was like it just. Felt it was time for something huge, so I did it this huge ritual. And then there are others out there you can do. Like there's like the Abermelin is just this huge undertaking, and then there's the Gebafal ritual. It's this huge undertaking. Um, and then the Book of Silver Leaves, and these are, you can find all of these in the works of John Dee and Aaron Leach writes about them, so they're in his books and how to do it. And you can do they're long rituals. They take multiple days, and you meditate and you do these like intense meditations, and you have to create these tablets. And there's all this like creating the book of Liber Laugath. And so, but all of this it starts flipping switches. And that's what all of it is about. Is you start flipping these switches in your head, and um, it kind of like aligns you to that divine energy, and you're able to then experience it. But along that, you also have to be able to meditate, and because it almost always goes back to meditation. Um, the experience has happened during meditation, but because I've triggered it with these rituals, then it has enriched my meditative practices. So meditation is the key. You've got to learn to meditate, and you got to meditate on a regular basis. Can magic be used to slow aging or enhance life? Um, I mean, it says like when we work with those, the king and goddess of the Watchtower of Earth, that they can enhance uh, or longevity, grant longevity and health. So I mean, it's been done, but it's only going to last for so long. Like magic can, you're typically only bending the rules of physics. It's hard to break the rules of physics. So at some point, you're still going to die. Um, um, and it goes back to like we're also not creating anything new, so we can only work with the what is already there, and what I was talking about earlier, where all of those realities exist. Is it possible where you have lived for hundreds of years or something, whatever? I don't know exactly what you want, but um, I doubt it. I doubt that that was ever a possibility that you could ever fall into. But I mean, because again, it's always what's possible, but we don't always know what's possible. So I can't say 100% one way or the other. But yes, magic can be used to slow aging and enhance life. Yes, that is possible. So yeah. Um, is there anything else, or I'm probably should get going here soon. So um, we manifested an era of Trump. Yes, we did. We did that. Hooray for us! It's not just Trump. It's happening all over the world. People are forgetting the lessons of the Second World War, and I guess we need to do that again. And please explain how ancient, powerful people like Jesus manifested objects into the 3D world. I don't remember a story where Jesus manifested 3D objects into the material world. But the way Jesus did what he did was he believed in himself so much. Jesus, I believe, was an enlightened being. He had that experience. He knew he was God. He knew he could do um, crazy stuff. He could do whatever he wanted, and he did it. And that belief allowed him to walk on water and to cure people and turn water into wine. And so yeah, that's it's all belief. And you have to get rid of all your limiting beliefs is really the key, because like we have these beliefs that say, well, no, that can't happen. I mean, you can see, you saw it just recently with me. I'm like, no, that's impossible to live forever. You can't change the laws of reality. But that's probably maybe my own limiting beliefs. And the more you can remove those beliefs, the more powerful you're going to be. And you're going to, because we all have this stuff like, yeah, I'm going to be rich one day. Well, why one day? Why are you going to be rich tomorrow? And if you can remove that limitation on that, then that makes it where, um, oh no, he didn't make the bread and fish out of nothing. He just made the fish. He just made the fish keep going for everybody. I mean, so I guess in a sense he did kind of create it out of nothing, but it wasn't so much out of nothing as much as just like, here, you have a fish. Oh, the fish didn't go away. Here's another fish. Oh, I still have fish. It's like there. So yeah, I mean, basically, you can kind of see the thought process of like, what I have here is going to be enough to feed everybody, and it was. Um, oh, that's awesome! Someone got a raise. Um, but yeah, you got to get rid of the limiting beliefs, and if you got rid of the limiting belief, if you truly had that experience, like what I was talking about, where that state that I was in, I think Jesus had it at a much higher level and lived in that state. That's the other thing, is like being able um, to have like I said, I'm not enlightened. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I've been in that state momentarily. To be enlightened is to be in that state all of the time. And when you're in that state all of the time, then you can start those. You can really strip away those beliefs, and then you can start doing those things. Have you heard of breatharian? Yeah, I've heard of it. I know a guy that experimented with it. He didn't get very far. I think that they're full of shit. Um, how do you remove limiting beliefs? You need to learn. Like, if I honestly, the best thing you can do is, I mean, one is just start believing in yourself and your own power, um, and then start doing things to show yourself your power. And you do that through magic. You can do it through doing a lot of magic. Like, you don't have to. I don't know where people get this idea. You can only do one ritual a day or something like that. Do do 5 rituals a day. Do 10 rituals a day. Do 15. Do 50 rituals a day, and you're going to start having like some crazy results. Like, um, that's what I'm talking about. Like these big rituals, man. Like, get my book with the 72 angels and summon all of them in one day. Do all those path workings and ask for something from each one of them. Just do it all in one day. See what that does. See what that does for you. And if you start doing that, you're gonna like get a bunch of results. And when you start getting those bunch of results, you're gonna be like, man, this is awesome. This works. I'm powerful. And that can start. You can work with spirits like Raziel, who can help work with you to remove limiting beliefs. You can work with hypnosis. You can work with subliminals. You can, um, do all of that stuff. There's like all these things you can do to help um, change your unconscious belief system. So yeah, start looking into hypnosis and subliminals, and then work with Raziel and other angels or demons to help with those. We want to work with chimeras, to work with the demon who can help you overcome your fears, because a lot of your beliefs are actually based on fear. If you can start removing your fear, um, then you can start expanding things. Here's an interesting fact. I don't know if you know, but they've done studies on people's brains. And I'm not saying this to insult anybody. Please don't take it that way. It's just an interesting thing, and it shows us how we can work on ourselves. But people that tend to are more conservative tend to have greater issues with fear, and they've shown this scientifically in brain studies. Um, and people, not just conservative, but like people that are um, are comforted by authoritarianism and things like that, or tradition, are more susceptible to being ruled by fear. And so if you can change your beliefs and get rid of your fears, you don't feel like you need to have someone in control, and you're much more free with reality being chaos. Because when reality is open like that and you can make it whatever you want, that's scary. And I get it. And not everyone's ready for that, but that's the kind of thing that is holding us back. And it all comes down to fear and ignorance. And if we can just study and educate ourselves and work on our fears, letting the fear go and becoming bold and really willing to take risks and just make leaps of faith. That's what magic is really all about. And because you have to be able, like magic is change. It's creating change using supernatural methods to create change, supernatural causation. So if you want things to happen for you, you have to let go of your fear and embrace change, because that's one of the most limiting beliefs that we all have on some level, is that we're afraid to change, and we're afraid of change because it's the unknown. That's really the other thing. We're afraid of the unknown, and stepping out into the unknown is scary. And so, yeah, we need to work on our those unconscious fears and beliefs, and let all that go. And so much of, like, and this is what I do give credit to, like the people that follow very strictly the left hand path, is that they create situations using magic. They create situations that they can that are going to push them and cause them to grow and to change. And I don't feel like that's necessarily what you have to do, but it's a good practice to a degree. Like, you think you can take it too far, but I do feel that that is part of something that the goddess calls us to do, is to push ourselves and to step out of that comfort zone into the unknown, and through that growing. And you've heard me say it before, like, if there's something you're afraid of, that's probably something that you need to try to do. And I don't mean like, and don't do anything that's going to hurt anyone or yourself or something, um, but that's where the growth happens. That's where the change happens, and that's where nothing is ever going to happen for you. You're not going to get any results if you um, stay at home and lock yourself in, and are afraid to get out of the world that your parents made for you. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, the limiting belief, like, and again, like, if you believed enough, then yeah, you could become the Messiah, basically, because we're all the Messiah. It's all there. Um, and that's why people who get that message, because the angels just do tend to make you like, oh, I'm the Messiah. They do tell you that, but it's not because you're the chosen one. We're all the chosen one, and they're just trying to point out, hey, that potential is in you, and you can act on it, or you can stay at home and play video games. Although, if you're in my innovative magic group, I showed how playing video games can be a cool ritual too. So I cater to everybody as best I can. All right, I guess it's been long enough, and I've got on my soapbox, and I've probably pissed some people off. So I'm going to head out. Let's do the final blessing. He that is the first, sustain us. She that is the end, beautify us. Angels of the Lord, guard us from all torment. Comfort us in all discord and light our way to supreme life. God of righteousness, pour down love, pleasure, healing, glory, gold, peace, and the secret joy of God. Mother of wisdom, pour down divine knowledge upon us. He that sits on the holy throne, crown and enthrone us in power. Move us to be mighty and rejoice in our power of creation. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the holy children. El Gahalge, Galva Urbsge, Ne Nakaad, Dea Iad, Bronze, Ge Tol Mir, Bliorax, Gi Atol or Osp, Od Opirt, Ge Insi Diabus, Beovib, Pampir, Bliorga, Kirasahi, Kiniliman, Kakam, Bustier, Akam, Intharzi, Ad, Iad, Mozad, Ananael, Pampir, Iad Namad, Mirk, Ge, Ido Ego, Mamarg, Ad, Velokorospax, Geon Mikaels, Zakam, Ge, D, Amikaels, Ad, Kiran, Ge, Gi Mikalzo di Kaas, Gaadua Ian, Yaida, Arxentasa Anenoromi, Paid. All right, thank you guys, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.